Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Geeky Leaks podcast. I am Liam.
And I'm Josh. That was like super unscripted.
Yes.
Yeah, like not expecting that at all.
That's right. You gotta have that intro, man.
Like welcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome, folks of all kinds. No, seriously, thanks for actually watching that, guys.
that was jokes.
I just thought it was funny.
I was just like, whoa. That was different.
That's official. We're not that important, man. Like, chill.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
This isn't a circus. Like, come on. No, anyway. So, yeah, welcome back to the podcast, guys. We got a pretty cool list of topics this week. Obviously, we're going to talk about iPhone stuff because, in case you believe under a rock, that's a thing. We got some video card rumors, and we got some leaked motherboard pictures, some crazy Bluetooth vulnerability, and as always, not much for gaming. But we do have one thing you guys might find pretty interesting for gaming this week. So cool. Let's jump on in. So the first thing we have is, this is a rumor. This is nothing official from Nvidia, but we do have a screenshot. Apparently, Nvidia is working on a GTX 1070 Ti, or Ti, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this is apparently kind of a response to Vega 56, because you guys can see the screenshot here, or that they took 1070 Ti Strix, apparently. But yeah, this is apparently somewhat of a response to the Vega 56, because Vega 56, although it doesn't beat the 1070 in all benchmarks, if it's not dead even, Vega 56 is usually slightly ahead in a lot of things. Yeah. So I don't know. Like me and Josh were talking about this before the podcast, and I tend to agree with you. I honestly don't think a 1070 Ti makes that much sense.
No.
If anything, I could see either a slight price drop on the 1070 and 1080.
Exactly.
Or, maybe like a refresh where they basically just, it's still 1070 and 1080, but it's like, oh, we increased the clock speed by 100 megahertz out of the box now. Sure. Or something like that.
I feel like if they were going to do it, it'd probably be the price drop way, because like that's less work for them. It's literally just like, hey, now it's cheaper.
Yeah,
like,
I cool. agree. But I don't think a new SKU is warranted personally.
It doesn't really make sense. It's not this late in the game either. It's not this late into a generation. Yeah,
because I mean these cards like the 1070 and 1080 have been out for literally a year and a half.
Yeah, like usually it's a few months or like 6 months after after the initial launch of the series. So.
Yeah, like if we already saw a refresh of the 1060s earlier this year. So I really think we're gonna see a new SKU at this point. I think if anything, it'll probably be the price drop.
Yeah.
But hey, we could be wrong. Maybe it's going to be for the holidays thing. I don't know.
That'd be cool. Apparently there's already a Strix version if this is a thing.
Yeah, I mean.
So like they're on schedule for the holidays. That's for sure.
We'll see. I think the problem. Well, I mean not the problem, but the weird thing that I think is where they're going to price it, because like we were talking about, like the MSRP for a 1070 is $330 US, and the 1080 MSRP is $500 US. So there's $170 to play in there. The issue, for me, is that a lot of the aftermarket 1070s kind of already encroach on that $400 price point.
Exactly.
And even if this thing is, let's say it is, $399 MSRP, well, now the aftermarket 1070 Ti is probably encroaching on the $450 price point, which means for $50 more, you can step up to a 1080. Now, depending on how the performance of this card is, maybe it is still a better buy to get a 1070 Ti. We'll have to see. Sure. But I'd be leaning towards, for if it is only an extra $50-$60, it's probably better just try to step up to a 1080, especially if it's on sale with a game or something.
Yeah, especially at that point.
Like if it's like, oh, I'm going to buy a 1070 and it comes with Assassin's Creed Origins.
Definitely.
But, buy the 1080 because it probably comes with it, and you're going to buy that game anyway. Exactly. Right? So now it's like the same price as a 1070 Ti in that sense.
And then you're getting actually a decent amount of performance.
Yeah, and then it's a 1080, so it's obviously better, right? So we'll see. I don't know. This is nothing official from Nvidia, so keep your eyes peeled. We'll report more on it if there's more to talk about. But anyway, moving on. So we have some MSI Z370 board pictures, most of which are honestly, I don't want to say they're uninteresting because new hardware is always cool, but I mean, it's mostly what you would expect. The one that kind of stood out to me is obviously the high-end one, the Godlike Gaming.
It's so silly, though, like we were talking about.
Yeah, and the reason that I think this is a little silly is not because it's bad. Like, it's a beautiful board. It's high end. It's great. The issue is, even though apparently, and this is not confirmed, but I think if I remember correctly, there's rumors about Intel giving more PCI Express lanes to these new chips that are coming out. So I think it was going to be like 20 or 24. But here's the thing. Like, even if they have 24, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say because you can't do more than 2-way SLI unless you're a benchmark guy.
Yep.
So, like, let's say you're an AMD guy and you're going to go 3-way Crossfire.
Sure.
Okay, there's all your CPU lanes, right?
True.
So all your 5 M.2s are going to go through the chipset?
Are totally useless, essentially.
Well, they'll still run at full speed. It's just that it's not really ideal to have them go through the chipset. And honestly, like if you're the kind of person that wants 5 M.2s, I would suspect you also probably want them routed through the CPU, which if you want to go Intel means you're buying the $1,000 part.
Exactly.
And the other issue for me, unless you're like a crazy overclocker, in which case there's honestly probably boards that are better suited to it than this. But from the screenshot we have above, it's 650 Canadian dollars. So, I mean, even the high end like mainstream i7 is around 450 Canadian. You're gonna spend $200 more on your motherboard than you are on your CPU.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you guys what to do with your money. It's your choice. To me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. With that said, it looks beautiful, and I'm sure it's going to be a great board.
Yeah.
But for me, I think the real winner here is probably something like the Pro Carbon, the one below.
Exactly.
You got your 2 M.2, you got your two 16X slots.
Yep.
It doesn't look like, I mean, obviously the VRM's not going to be quite as crazy and stuff like that, but I feel like this is the one that makes the most sense, especially when, again, you go back and look at the price for it. It's like 250 Canadian.
Yeah.
Literally, the price difference between these two is your processor. Right? So... Again, far be it for me to tell you guys what to do with your money, but if it was me, I'd be looking at the Pro Carbon or maybe like the gaming M5
I
or something.
I like the M5.
Yeah, something more along those lines I think makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But if
Like
you want to go balls to the wall with your mainstream chipset or CPU, there's the godlike gaming. I hope that's not 650 Canadian. Honestly, I think that'll probably come down. Mm-hmm. I think it's probably going to be more like 4 when the dust settles, but we'll see. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, usually it's overpriced before it comes out.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's obviously this is nothing official, nothing's actually announced yet. But no. I just wanted to share this more just for the pictures because this is. I think we can safely assume this is pretty much what it's going to look like. So.
Yeah, like this is like pretty legit renders. So
yeah, so if you guys are at all interested in some new boards from MSI, definitely check these out. They're going to be nice either way. So, I mean, It's hard to go wrong with new stuff. But, yeah. Anyway, I guess the big news this week.
Yeah, of course.
This is the one everybody's talking about, or the 3 everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
So, Apple had 3 iPhones come out this year.
Which is abnormal.
Which is abnormal.
Well, actually, not really. I guess they usually do a low end, not a high end.
Yeah.
They'll do their 2 top ends.
And then they have, like, the SE and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But this time they did the 8 Plus, and the 10. Don't call it iPhone X, apparently.
iPhone X.
OS 10. OS 10.
iPhone X.
iPhone 10. OS 10. Hey, that's what Apple says. Apple's always right.
I'm just going to be a rebel. iPhone 10.
Yep. I agree.
I'm just going to rebel. iPhone 10. iPhone X.
But yeah, anyway, so the iPhone X is out and the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. Now, the 8 and 8 Plus are... Actually, like, there's some decent upgrades to them. Decent. I mean, obviously, you got, like, a new processor, stuff like that. Things you'd expect. They got... better color reproduction on the screen, that kind of thing. And they pretty much look like an iPhone. The one thing that I think a lot of people are really going to like is now they have glass on the back. So you can, and they support, is it Qi or Key? Key. It's a Key wireless charging. So you can actually charge your iPhone wirelessly. Like, honestly, you probably should have been able to a year or two ago.
I was going to, more than that.
More than that. Okay, but let's be reasonable.
It's funny.
A year or two ago.
It's like, oh, we're Apple. We push the boundaries. We've had wireless charging for like 3
years. They have courage, though.
Like, we have Face ID.
Yes.
Speaking of Face ID.
Yes. So speaking of Face ID, the iPhone X, I honestly like the design. I think it looks nice.
Yeah, I think it looks awesome.
Yeah. I think it's about time Apple's actually done something drastically different with their design.
Like, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
I think it looks awesome.
Because the iPhones, as much as they've always been like really nice devices, aside from like the size differences and it's a little thinner, a little thicker, whatever, like let's be honest, the iPhone 8 even is more or less the same basic design since the first iPhone. Really. Like,
maybe not that. Like, that's maybe a stretch because like it doesn't look like the 4S. And that was a change.
But it kind of does. It's just bigger.
It's not that it doesn't. I just feel like it's not the exact same design. It's not the squared off design. I mean, this has been the same design for what, since like 6 at least. Like the 6 Plus looks like almost identical to the 8 Plus.
Okay, fair. But I'm saying? But I mean, like, yeah.
Like, it's still. I agree with you.
I just mean, like, aside from rounding the edges and the materials,
sure.
Like the face of an iPhone,
sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it has the home button where you think it is.
True.
It has the speaker at the top where you think it is. Like,
True.
it just like you could look at an iPhone, the first one, and be like, yes, that is clearly an iPhone.
I agree,
but
I'm just thinking more like literally, if you compared a 6 Plus and an 8 Plus together, they look like within Like, you know,
yeah.
You know, like
and
they're
the 6
very,
is,
very
and
similar.
the 6 is 3 years old.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like 3
yeah.
generations, or 2 generations, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the 5 was even similar to this design.
It was similar, but it was a lot smaller.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I mean, it's about time they changed up. I mean, at least they have the key wireless charging, which is sweet.
Yeah.
But the iPhone
finally.
X is really the one that I think everybody's pretty interested in. The one cool thing is, well, depending on your opinion, is with the iPhone X, you get like the Face ID and you get some more RAM, stuff like that. Obviously, you get the nice display and dual cameras and all that. I think the 8 Plus has the dual cameras too. But no matter which one you get, even if you get the cheapest iPhone 8, you still get the same processor. So you're not skimping out on that. Like, at least you're going to get, you know, most of the new hardware even on the cheapest iPhone. But keep in mind, I think the cheapest iPhone is like $600 or $700 US.
Yeah, so
you're still looking
expensive.
at $800-900 in Canada where we are for the cheapest one. So
for the I'm looking here too, farther into the article here. There's iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone X share the same camera.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
They're 12 megapixel f1.8, which is actually crazy. F1.8 is super wide, and they both do 4K 60, which is fucking awesome.
And both of the cameras have optical image stabilization, just like the Note 8.
The other thing I'm reading here, which is really funny, speaking of what we were just talking about, with like similar design for the past, however, the iPhone 7K still fits the iPhone 8.
Yeah.
So that kind of tells you right there, like, it's literally the same design, just better specs.
Marcus Brownlee was talking about this briefly in his iPhone 8, like, not review, but the hands-on video. And he was basically like, guys, they call this iPhone 8, but let's be real, it's honestly the 7S.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean,
like the iPhone X is the new iPhone.
It's the new one, yeah. And just like Microsoft, they skipped 9.
Of course they
go
did.
right to 10. Good job, Apple, pulling a Microsoft.
That's actually really funny to think about.
Yeah, I laughed. I thought about that to myself. But other than that, the screens, other than like a little bit of better color reproduction on the 8 and 8 Plus, are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's all about the iPhone X. It has like the better screen and all sorts of better stuff. But yeah, the iPhone 8 starts at $700 US. So yeah, you're looking at probably 900-ish in Canada.
I'm curious to see how they're going to replace the functionality of the home button too, because it's not only just used to unlock the phone, it's more like,
have you seen?
I know it's used to get back to your home screen, obviously. So like how?
So the way they're doing it now is all gestures, and in my opinion, it's awkward. So the way it is, like, this is gonna be hard. So I know you guys won't be able to see this very well, but if you swipe, I'll do this. If you swipe up from the bottom, that's how you go home.
That's really weird.
If you swipe all the way up, you go home. If you swipe halfway up, something else happens. And then there's 3 other gestures. There's like a menu that you swipe down from that side, a menu you swipe down from this side, and then something else you swipe down from the middle.
Ooh, that's kind of...
It's granted, to me it looks awkward.
Yeah, you'd have to really get used to it.
Because you got the cutouts in each corner, right here. So there's a different menu depending on which corner you swipe down from, and then a different one from the middle.
Right.
And then to go home, it's swipe all the way up, and there's something else.
That's going to be weird to swipe all the way up. How big is this phone again, iPhone X?
It's 5.8-inch screen,
Yeah,
but
like
keeping
it's large.
But keep in mind, because if you look at it compared to the iPhone 8, for example, it's basically the same size.
Very true.
Because there's very little bezel, right?
Yeah.
So it's not an enormous phone, but
I still feel like to swipe all the way up a 5.7-inch screen.
To be fair, it's not like all the way to the top, but it's most of the way up.
Still.
Yeah. So
kind of...
We'll see how that goes. Even MKBHD was kind of like, I'm willing to give it a shot, but this seems like it might be kind of awkward.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. If you don't like buttons, then maybe you'll like that.
Potentially.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
But anyway, this one was one you wanted to talk about a bit, which is the Reds phone. There's kind of like an update to it. They kind of talked about the display and stuff.
Yep. So we talked about this, I don't know, 3 or 4 episodes, maybe 5 episodes ago.
3 or 4, I think. But
and we showed a video with MKBHD kind of showing off, they had 3 different prototypes. One was the body, one was the screen, and one was the the modules attached together, right?
Yeah.
So now we have like a video apparently that Red released, showcasing the actual holographic screen technology, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it seems like it's very just like a representation of what the technology is going to look like. But if it looks anything like this representation does, it's going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. Like literally, like they show like a car driving across the screen
here.
But yeah, in the article, there's a video you can guys watch where they just showcase a bunch of stuff. Like they showcase like buildings coming up from the screen, and then they show your route on GPS kind of thing.
Okay.
Stuff like that. It was an example they showed, but this car thing is probably the coolest example.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't know how you would shoot stuff to put it on this display, but
I guess their camera might have some special sauce in it.
It has to have some sort of 3D capture, which is interesting. Like you have 3D capture now on your phone. That's unreal. That's like a
module you have to attach or something. I don't know.
I think the camera just shoots it. It's like their 4D thing. I think the stock camera still shoots it. It's just probably the upgraded module probably shoots it better for whatever reason.
Fair.
That's why they're going to make you spend $1,000 on a module.
Fair.
But yeah, I mean, interesting. Like if this technology is anything like this video, it's pretty like high tech.
Yeah,
it's pretty like holographic.
This goes to show apparently that you can do this for $1,000 as well. Yeah, for next is $1,000.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can push the boundaries for $1,000. So where's the boundaries being pushed, Apple?
I know where the boundaries are being pushed in their margins.
I
had to.
But I mean, literally, this is like Star Wars shit right here.
It's pretty intense, man.
Like to put something down on your I'm just picturing a movie here. So say I don't know, any futuristic movie that
Cortana from Halo.
Sure, perfect. Literally the perfect example. And you put your phone down and you have the thing that's like flat, and then now there's like this person standing this tall.
Your digital assistant.
That's insane.
Like the Google Assistant.
Like yeah.
As a person that hologram,
it's a hologram.
Yeah.
And like based on the buildings that they show here, this almost looks. The building sticking up from the phone looks identical to the technology they show in movies, where they're like showing some person standing there as a hologram.
So
we're not that far off from like legit holograms. Like that's pretty intense.
That's crazy, man.
So
I look forward to that. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of other stuff that's coming out that's gonna be interesting, this is just gonna be quick, but
yeah.
Google apparently announced an event October 4th. Pixel 2, probably Pixel 2 XL as well. I'm assuming, but
yeah.
But I mean, new Google phones are always sweet. I don't know, man.
And they always do it after Apple. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, hopefully, I like the renders that we see here. I hope that that's more what we kind of get from it.
I like the all black look.
Yes, me too.
Like that dark glossy black there looks really nice. I like how the matte black kind of complements it as well with the black Google G. I like that as well.
Yeah, man, it looks sweet. So hopefully that's exactly what we get. But we'll find out very soon. So obviously once it's out, we'll talk about it more.
Yep, but October 4th.
Yep,
podcast after that for sure.
Yep, exactly. I guess we could have done this one a little bit earlier, but whatever. Yeah. So Apple has apparently increased iPad Pro pricing due to flash shortage. Now, granted,
understandable, but like. Fuck.
Now, I didn't see. Do you know how much they increased it by?
$50. So all the iPad Pro models went up by $50, including the 10-inch and all the 13-inch and 10-inch. All the models went up by $50. Which I guess like there's a shortage, but like just because just sell less of them. Just don't make any more. Why would you raise the like? I get it. You just. Like know. You're raising the price so less people will buy them.
How many people do you think buy a 512 gig iPad Pro?
Like, I don't know. I wouldn't, and I'm a professional, so.
Even the 256, like, do you need half a terabyte of storage on your iPad?
The reason that you would, and I don't think that it's still, still think it's not viable because you would just transfer it off.
That's what I mean.
Would be like large.
Like you film things with your iPad?
Even then, yeah, because like a sketch, like I'm thinking, like this is the best thing for graphic design work that I've seen so far.
Okay.
In terms of drawing, drawing digitally, this is like one of the better things you can buy, because it's also an iPad on top of just being like a fucking.
It just the thing that boggles my mind is like, and granted, maybe the storage is fast. I don't know what the speeds on it are like, but like to go from 64 to 256 gigs is $250 US.
It still runs iOS though. That's my biggest issue.
Well, yeah, that's everybody's biggest issue.
Like it runs iOS.
I don't think anything.
Like if this thing ran Mac OS, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like it'd be nuts.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, obviously.
Yeah, and that's my biggest issue with having Pro in the name is like you can't. That's like Note Pro.
Yeah. No.
Like it runs Android or this runs iOS.
Like I can't do anything serious on it. Anything serious that I'm doing on it. Like apparently, because I've been looking into them. Apparently you can draw in vectors, which is solid. You essentially can draw things that like can be scaled infinitely.
Okay.
So it's not drawing in pixels.
Okay. Which is cool.
You have that option, which is like I'm looking at this from a graphic design perspective because like that's the only that's the only professional I see using this.
Fair.
You know, like a videographer is not going to use this.
No, then you got to buy the pen separate.
Yeah, so this makes it's $100 extra for the pen.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at say
the cheap
64 gig. This is a 13-inch model. The 10-inch one I think is like $5.
So if you want the 12.9-inch iPad Pro with the pen, the cheapest way you can get it is $900 US.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty expensive.
I'll say the same thing I said before. I'm not going to tell anybody how to spend their money, but I do think that there are other very viable options out there.
But if I compare this, if we're talking again the like tablet route of having the pen and everything.
Yep.
If I compare that to a high-end like equivalent drawing tablet.
Yep.
It's something you have to plug into your computer for one.
Okay.
I have to actually plug it into my computer for it to work.
I was thinking like a Surface.
That's
not like a Surface Book, but like a cheaper Surface Pro.
It's definitely comparable, and it's a better machine. It's a better computer, but it's not as good of a drawing tablet.
Okay, fair.
Because the pen is amazing.
Fair. All right. No, that's fair.
But so if I'm looking at it, it depends what perspective you look at it from.
No, I don't know what the pricing on those servers is like either, but I do know that it comes with the pen.
And you would actually get a whole computer.
Plus, it comes with the stand.
But talking about professionals,
but I've heard purely from a tablet perspective.
I've heard pros in looking for tablets are looking at this, and then people who are like, I want a computer as well, are looking at Surface.
Makes sense.
But they're generally upset with Surface once they start actually trying to use it.
I guess for like I've never used either, so it's hard for me to make any real calls.
Yeah,
but I would imagine
same, really.
I guess it depends on what you need for a computer. Like if you just wanted to like do your internet and email, the iPad Pro is probably more than enough.
I just still don't understand why there's like a terabyte or half a terabyte of storage. Like
that's my thing. Like I don't like.
I'm gonna draw something on it and then I'm gonna move it off onto my desktop.
Like I could maybe see the 256 maybe, but I don't know why any reason you need half a terabyte of storage on your iPad Pro.
Unless you have an insane amount of videos
or if you just don't care
music and stuff,
you're just gonna have money to spend, I guess, whatever. But
I guess if you're gonna use it as a mobile media machine, I see that. Like if you're gonna have all your movies on it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the only situation I could see though.
Yeah, fair, I guess.
That's the only situation because I have a terabyte of movies.
Yeah, me too.
So like fair. I can see it at that point.
Fair enough.
But still. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So this
This is brutal, guys.
So apparently there's a Bluetooth vulnerability that affects like almost everything with Bluetooth. Basically, if you're not using Bluetooth, what is it? Bluetooth Low Energy?
Unless you're using Bluetooth LE is not vulnerable for some reason.
So Bluetooth LE is not vulnerable, and I guess they didn't specify. Like I don't know. Like maybe Bluetooth 5.0 isn't because it's brand new. We don't know.
They didn't say anything about it, so I don't.
So that might not be. But pretty much anything that's running anything older than that and not low energy, it's pretty much vulnerable. Like they say 5.3 billion devices are vulnerable.
Like we'll read a little bit here. It's like the attack vector reportedly allows an attacker to take complete control of a device, access corporate data and networks, infiltrate secure secure in quotations, air-gapped networks, create large botnets out of Internet of Things devices, and more. It's also highly infectious and can spread malware to nearby devices. Great.
And they also say like you don't have to click on a link. You don't have to download anything. Nope. As long as your Bluetooth is on, you are potentially vulnerable.
And where did we read that? Was that in the other little page there about it?
No, it's down towards the bottom of the TechSpot article there, right above the. Now there is another link here that I'll move over to now so you guys can see. There's a link down there where it says affected devices. Like right here.
It says a list of affected devices can be found on their website. Yeah,
so I have the link open here. I'll go back up to the top. Sorry. Definitely check this out. There is a little tool you can download to check to see if yours is affected in any way or vulnerable.
Also, if you wanted to look up if you actually wanted to look up this specific hack, they're calling it Borne. I like the little logo they made for it too, like I said.
Yeah, it's pretty clever actually.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. But it's called Borne, so you can kind of research that and get a lot more information about it, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But this website kind of gives you
at least all the basic stuff you need to know about it.
And then speaking of affected devices, they basically just they're very vague, which I don't really understand. But
I mean, it might be one of those things they might not even fully understand how many things are affected just yet because it's new too, right?
The way I'd probably describe it, like they say Google Pixel, Samsung Galaxy Tab, LG Watch Sport, and a pumpkin car audio system. Those are the only things that are listed, so that seems silly. Well, but then, right underneath it, they said basically if you don't have the September 9th, 2017 security patch from Google,
which you probably don't,
you're vulnerable for the most part.
Yeah, like unless you have like a Pixel,
unless you're solely using Bluetooth LE for some reason that I don't understand.
But yeah, unless you have like a Pixel or some other Android One device, you probably don't have it. So yeah,
pretty much.
Anyway, this is more of a PSA for you guys than anything. Don't want to rain on the day too much, but it's important to let everybody know.
No, like this is a pretty bad one. Right? This is one of the worst ones I've seen in a while. So
yeah,
it's good to know about for sure.
So definitely check it out. But yeah, so okay. Last but not least, of course, we got some gaming. This is the only gaming topic we have for this week.
Let's cheer it up a little bit.
Yeah, let's end on a good note. So, do you guys have a Nintendo Switch? You probably do.
Are you sure? I don't know.
Lots of people do. They've been selling like hotcakes.
Okay, fair. I thought they were not really, but okay.
Well, they were. I don't know if they still are.
I don't know.
but anyway, if you don't, or if you were interested in one, maybe here's another reason. Because Bethesda announced Doom and Wolfenstein 2 are coming to Nintendo Switch.
Like, sweet.
Which, honestly, kind of shocked me.
Like,
just for the fact that like Nintendo doesn't really have a lot of mature games on it in general.
True, and these are pretty mature games.
Like Doom, you could argue, is a little arcadey maybe, but Wolfenstein 2 is ruthless.
Yeah, it's just going to be like death.
Like, whew. So, anyway, if you already have a Switch, this is good news because you got some cool new games coming. But if you were looking at a Switch being like, I kind of want to play Breath of the Wild, but I don't want to buy it just for one game.
Yeah, now you at least have like...
There's some really cool new games coming to it, apparently.
Doom has online, obviously, so if you're into that, you can play Switch. And like you can now kind of justify getting a Switch a little bit more. Yeah. At least.
You can justify giving Nintendo your money a little bit more. But yeah, we just thought we'd mention that to you guys because it's pretty cool. There is a little video of Doom and Wolfenstein 2, like a little kind of video of it from Nintendo Direct.
It would be really cool to take the Switch on the go and play Doom, which is something I didn't think about. I just thought about that because you could just pick it up and walk out.
Like sitting on the bus
playing
Doom.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Like I would be jealous of some motherfucker doing that.
Like owning kids on the bus.
Like if I was sitting behind some guy on the bus and he's playing Doom, I'd be like, dude, you're like the best dude on this bus right now. Yeah. Like you are the shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And again, it was just unexpected for me because Nintendo doesn't really have a lot of games that are, super like violent or it's anything like that, bloody and any of that kind of thing. It's usually Nintendo games for the most part.
It's generally like more kid friendly.
Like honestly, off the top of my head, the only thing that came to mind that was even remotely like, it's not even really a mature game, but that was like somewhat violent would be like Skyrim. Yeah. And even that game's not really like, ooh, there's spiders.
No.
You know what
I mean?
Like,
you can put mods, but I don't think you can't put them on the
Switch. But they're not getting on the Switch. So if you're a gorehound and you want to play some shooters on the Switch, man, they're coming for you. They're coming to you. Yep. So anyway, thought we'd mention that just as a nice little sign off because that Bluetooth thing is a little sad. So
it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, gaming.
Anyway, so that's all for this week. Thanks as always for watching, everybody. Like the video if you liked it. Mm-hmm. Share it somewhere. Show your friends. Maybe they'll like it too. And maybe. Well, they probably won't, but maybe they will. But yeah, anyway, thanks as always for watching. We will see you next week.